Hello. In today's micro lecture, we're going to talk about compressing a file or folder from your computer. We're going to talk about what it is to compress a file or folder. We're going to talk about why we do it and how to compress our file or folder from your computer. And by the end of this little micro lecture, you'll be able to compress a file or folder. Compressing, it has many different terms. Many people can refer to it as zip or stuff it. Some folks will call it bundle, others may call it archive, maybe package or packaging. Um, but the idea of compressing a file is to reduce a file or folder size by using an application to remove redundant data. Essentially, it's creating a smaller version of a file or folder. We compress a file or folder for a number of reasons, oftentimes to save space on storage. It can be used for archiving files or folders that are no longer being used or actively used. Um, in many cases, reducing the file size for a folder or files is very useful for when we're sending them online or submitting them to an online portal. It's especially useful for large files such as videos, images, or a project with numerous associated files within the entire project. Formats that are used for compressing a file. Apple oftentimes will use a .zip, .zip. A PC may use a .zip or a .rar file or a .7z, depending on the manufacturer of the PC. How to compress a file or folder. Pretty much all modern day computers have the application to compress or zip a file. For an Apple, you would right click or control click on the file or folder that you want to compress, and then select from the menu compress. On a PC, you would right click on the file or folder that you want to compress, select send to, then select choose or zip, depending on the platform, from the menu. Here is an example how to compress a file or folder on a Apple computer. First, you want to locate the folder. In this example, we're going to compress the folder that's entitled Apple Folder Test. You right-click on the file or folder, then choose compress or zip. Again, that depends on a Mac or PC. And then once you select compress or zip, you'll have a compressed folder or file in a few seconds. And the same instructions would be true for a PC, just depends on the language, but ultimately it's a very quick, easy 3 steps to get to a compressed file or folder. If you have any questions, feel free to email me. Otherwise, thanks for visiting.